Have you ever noticed how a single poem can quietly open a door? Not a real door, but one tucked away somewhere deep inside your heart. One that you hadn't thought about in years. That's exactly what happened to me. I was simply reading, just another quiet morning, a warm cup of tea beside me, an old journal lying open on the table, and a poem I'd loved for many years. Before I'd even reached the end of the first few lines, I wasn't sitting in that chair anymore. I had gone somewhere else entirely. Isn't it remarkable how words printed on a page can become something so much larger? The poem itself hadn't changed. The words were exactly where they'd always been. But I had changed. I had lived. I had loved. I had lost people. I had taught. I had grown older. And suddenly, those same words reached places inside me they had never touched before. That's the gift of poetry. It waits for us, patiently, until we're finally ready to hear what it's been trying to say all along. Almost instantly, I could smell summer again. Warm grass beneath bare feet, sprinklers sparkling in the afternoon sunshine, a picnic blanket spread across the yard, the sound of laughter drifting through the neighborhood, fireflies beginning to appear just before dusk. We never realized, while we were living those ordinary little days, that they were quietly becoming the memories we'd treasure for the rest of our lives. Childhood has a funny way of doing that. It doesn't ask permission. It simply becomes part of us. Water has always carried memories for me. I remember family afternoons at the pool, splashing, laughing, watching the sunlight dance across the water. Years later, I watched my parents enjoy the swimming pool they had worked so hard to build. At the time, it felt like just another afternoon. But today, I understand something I didn't know then. Ordinary afternoons often become life's greatest treasures. One of the greatest joys of my life was teaching literature. Every September, another classroom filled with students. Some loved books, some couldn't imagine why anyone would. But every year, there would be one story, one poem, one sentence that suddenly lit a spark in someone's eyes. That's when I knew literature wasn't simply something we studied, it was something we lived. Every reader brought a different heart to exactly the same page, and somehow the story belonged to all of us. As I've grown older, I've noticed something else. The most precious memories don't always live in photographs. Sometimes they live inside ordinary objects. A ring from your father, a favorite kitchen knife, a worn journal, a pair of reading glasses, a book whose pages have been turned hundreds of times. These things stop becoming objects. They become chapters, tiny doorways back into the people we once were. That's why I believe every story has something to teach us. Not because every story is perfect, but because every life leaves behind wisdom. Sometimes through joy, sometimes through heartbreak, sometimes through a poem or a quiet summer afternoon. So today, I'd like to leave you with one simple question. What memory still lives quietly inside your heart? And what might it still have to teach you? Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, never stop learning.